Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we are reviewing,
Gotham.
the Blade's Path. Crap. Right, so I know you being a Batman purist, there was a number of things that I thought would bother you about this episode. One being he jukes Ra's al Ghul, and the other one Solomon Grundy.
Okay, what about Solomon Grundy do you think would bother me?
I thought everything. I just thought you'd be like, oh, you know what I mean.
Nah, I'm a little... Solomon Grundy is a walking dead man zombie guy. Who cares? Really? I don't desperately need him to be 100 years old or whatever.
I just thought like how he was talking and stuff like that, but yeah,
that's how I kind of imagined Grundy to talk within. I mean, okay,
the wig was unconvincing.
It was unconvincing, and he kind of found a way to talk more than he normally would. But you're making a TV show. What are you going to do? You need to communicate a little more. That's fine.
His first the first bit where they kind of take him out of the hospital and whack him in Slaughter Swamp. That's like the comic book stuff, you know what I mean? He's running away from an army of people trying to like pitchfork and torch him, and he ends up falling into Slaughter Swamp and then comes out, you know what I mean? So I thought that was good. I thought they would have tied it more in with the Lazarus Pit, because I know like Slaughter Swamp had chemicals in it that eventually led to the same stuff that's in like a Lazarus Pit. So I thought they were going to do that, but they just like had a bunch of they had the barrel from Indian Hill, so I guess that's good enough. But I thought, well, you got Ra's al Ghul in there, you might as well take advantage.
Yeah, but I think you need to be careful of that. You can get to a point where then it seeps into everything, and when every time anyone dies, it's like, well, it is the Lazarus Pit. Although, does anyone really die on this show?
Well, they didn't bring the little kid back, did they?
Little kid.
Alex from last episode.
Well, there's time.
I thought that would have been a bargaining chip. I don't think Bruce would like care. I'd be like, look, I'll bring back your friend. I'd just be like, why bother? You know, why bother? So yeah, you had that, and Solomon goes to the campground and he hears, for some reason, a bunch of hobos are listening on a phonogram or whatever it's called, like sitting there listening to Solomon Grundy slapping their legs as you do. So it's kind of interesting, the kind of the setting for Gotham, because they got phones and stuff, but like I guess because it was upstate, maybe they do things differently there, but like it's kind of got that like 19th century vibe to it. But people have got phones and stuff and outdated cars. You never see like a sick car, do you?
It's like Batman the animated series, where it's kind of out of time, where some things are super modern, some things are futuristic, and some things is like seem like they're out of the past. That's fine. Gotham's always worked good like that anyway. I mean, in the comic books.
So yeah, I guess he is the Thing, and then calls himself Solomon Grundy. And then you've got the Riddler, Robin, a pharmacist to kind of get smart again, and then he ends up getting paired off, and then he leaves and then bumps into Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, so this was better. I don't remember what episode it was, maybe it's the last one, the one before, but the one with Riddler in the bed or whatever, that started off alright, but then trailed off to nowhere. This was better for the Riddler. It was pretty funny, I think, this week.
Yeah, my kind of thing was, do you know when Grundy pulls the hot dog station and he's kind of got the hot dog ham-fisted in his hand and hands it to him, and then he like eats it? Would you have accepted that hot dog, or would you just been like, yo, I'll make my own?
Oh no.
You what?
I would have made my own.
Yeah, because it looked kind of squished and it only had mustard on one side. So yeah, you got Bruce at the funeral parlour, and then Jim turns up and he is talking to Alfred, and is like, look, don't get involved or whatever.
He's being kind of douchey as well.
Who?
Old Gordon, about how Alfred's not doing a good enough job with Bruce or something. It's like, yo, you try with that kid.
I
No,
think
so God, he arrested him, then let him out.
yeah, Jim would have. I think Jim would lay down the law. I don't know. Maybe Jim's got a high opinion. Jim's shit don't stink, basically. So yeah. So then you got Raish in Blackgate, and then Barbara turns up, and then he's like, I swear he's like, oh, I'm planning to dip back to Nanda Parbat, and she was like, what about me? You said you'd give me something wondrous, and he kind of puts his hand up to the glass, and so does she, and then there's like this. The best way I can describe it is mystical energy, like goes into her hand. Like, all right.
You can also call it a clever writer trick to establish a reason for Ra's al Ghul to come back when he inevitably does.
But we haven't got that far in the review yet.
We have.
I'm trying to think who, like, and then you've got,
You got the hot daughter hanging out with the penguin.
yeah, so she's like, she takes him out to dinner, and then she's kind of mothering him, and then she like rubs his feet or foot at the end. I thought she was going to pull his foot out of his boot, and he was going to have a flipper foot.
I didn't quite understand what was happening. I kind of looked away for a minute. I didn't realise, like, this is getting odd. I mean,
I guess his ankle hurts. I guess his ankle swells up.
Oh, he's limping, isn't he? They kind of focused heavily on that.
Yeah.
They made a point of showing it.
I think that's just a reason to have him kind of like look cretinous, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like a kind of creepy kind of thing. But like, yeah. So
He's got like a proper waddle, like Danny DeVito or something now.
Yeah. And they've got an excuse for it. So yeah, you got her doing her stuff. Whatever. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking if she's going to kill him, she could have just killed him then. So, and it'd save time, wouldn't it, right? If she jukes him in the neck, job done. So I don't get why she's kind of whatever. And what the penguin should have done is he should have lipsed her. Because like, then you know if she's like on it or not.
Yeah, maybe, but that seems like it would repulse him. He seems like he seems like he's like asexual, even though he has like an obsession with the Riddler. Just doesn't seem something he's kind of into. At least from you've seen more of the show than I have. Has he ever really shown any interest in a girl or a guy?
He's never really been in that situation. He's always been like too busy. But now if he's got her hanging around, like, because he was into Ed because like they were hanging around and he was helping him and stuff like that, and he was being a friend, and he was never.
I mean, what is he? Is he into Ed? Like, does he like hanging around? I know he's got an obsession with him, but is it a sexual thing or is it just weird?
Yeah, it was like
penguin obsession.
Yeah, he was like in love with him, like homo.
Way to keep it classy. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of that vibe. Nothing wrong with it. So yeah, there was that going on. So she's showing him the same love that Riddler did, but like whatever.
I remember him having like an obsession with his mother, like it was a real mum. So is that what she's playing on?
Yeah. Because she did the whole goulash and rubbing his feet, and then there was ankle, and like it was like, oh yeah, like if you're in pain, like they put ice on it, but you shouldn't do that because that makes it hurt more, so you should keep it warm. And it was like, oh, that's what my mama said to me, and then he starts kind of crying and stuff like that. So I guess it's never really been in that, because you don't see him like, you know, with like girls on his arm and stuff like that. He's always just kind of walking into somewhere, laying down the law, and then he pisses off.
Well, that's what I mean, because he's always been hanging around with plenty of hot birds. You know, Barbara's been around, the other one, and Poison Ivy, but he just never shows an interest, so...
Because he's always very business orientated. So yeah, you got that. And then Bruce goes MIA with the blade and ends up in Blackgate. And he kind of gets he's in the cell and is just about to juke him, and then he kind of wusses out and turns around. Then all of a sudden, Raish is standing, right behind him. He gives him a bit of a slap, and then takes him down to beneath Blackgate, which looks kind of nice for the sewers or whatever it's supposed to be. And then Jim and Alfie turn up, and then they kind of walk around with the guests, blah blah blah. And then what I thought was the best bit with Bruce and Race, they were talking, and it was like, look, it was like, put me out my misery, and then he looks down to the puddle, and you see what he actually looks like, which was
yeah, I've mixed feelings.
The best
I thought it was cool, but it was like, what was with the weird computer effect? Or can you just like put makeup on him? I mean, it's not that big of a deal, really, but it's still odd. But the whole threatening to kill everyone thing was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was sick. That was the best bit I was talking about. And it's like, look, you either kill me or like I'll go away and I'll wait however long, and when you have a wife and kids, I'll come back and like kill them in front of you. And I was like, oh, you can't, because like she's like, even though they're not married, but it's like if you kill his woman and his kid, it's like that's she like grandkid and daughter.
Well, not in this universe.
Yeah, but come on, you know what I mean. So yeah, he inadvertently threatens himself, and then Brucey gets upset and then jukes him, and then he kind of, I guess, crumbles to nothing. Well, not nothing, he crumbles to like, he kind of looks mummified, I guess. And I'm interested, like, if he comes back in a Lazarus pit, is that like a fresh start or what? Or will he still kind of look the same as he did in his reflection? Because I didn't really kind of...
Who knows if that's even real? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It might just be part of the ploy, but ultimately, like, he always comes back, you know what I mean? We know he will. It's probably tie-in somehow to that Barbara thing.
Yeah, so he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
Which never happens.
He made Bruce snap, and I know you thought I'd be angry about it. I'd be lying if I said I was happy. Like, I'd rather... Whatever, if you know it's something they can undo. Sort of like he's gone, you know, if they had him gone and stabbed Joe Chill or something for killing his family, that I'll be pissed about. But it'll come back eventually, and now Bruce will learn never to do it again.
Yeah, because he kind of had to sit down. He had a kind of chat with Alfred, and he's like, you know, don't worry about it. It's like, you know what I mean. He was like way dead anyway, so you kind of had that, and then yeah,
because they had Alfred and he have a talk about not doing it earlier in the episode and not going down the dark path, which, you know, inevitably means they're going to set him up to do it. But I would have been frustrated and I would have been angry, taking away the whole Batman shouldn't kill thing. I would have been frustrated and angry were it not for that scene with Race threatening to come back and kill his family. That convinced me enough that in the moment he snapped and needed to stab him, I thought he would need to do it. If they hadn't done that, I would have been annoyed that he promised not to do it and then just flaked on his word.
Yeah, well, one thing as well is like Race referenced him as being a white knight for Gotham, and then you got Alfred like, oh, if you do this, you'll be going down a dark path. So it was kind of
it's a bit heavy-handed, isn't it?
A play on the whole Dark Knight thing or whatever.
I'll be into that more if bloody Two-Face, or not Two-Face, Harvey Dent was ever actually on the show. I mean, what was the point in bringing it? I mean, we've gone on that rant before, but for Christ's sake. Especially, I just think it's weird that they've got this whole, like, Penguin sending out a license thing. If ever there's a time to have Harvey Dent on the show, surely it's now.
Well, you know what they'll do? They'll Sofia will help Gordon bring him to trial or whatever, and then when he's at the trial, he'll get mullered with the acid. So they'll bring him back for that. You know, when he's up on charges, they'll be like, right, we've got everything we need. We just need a DA who's going to get the job done. He'll go and approach Harvey Dent, and then he'll get mullered with acid.
I just think that he should be here now so they can build up his relationships with at least Gordon, if not Bruce, because it's just going to have less of an impact if he's some dude who just shows up and then gets acid thrown in his face at some point. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, it kind of, they say that this season's going to reference like the long Halloween and stuff like that. And if I'm not wrong, isn't he like a major player there? Because he was like accused of being a holiday killer, like pretty severely.
He was, which it turned out to be, at least in part, his wife. Some of the holiday killings, and if I remember rightly, it's been about 5 or 6 years since I read it, but if I remember rightly, they redid the origin of Halloween. That's part of the story.
Oh. And what was that?
Put Sal Maroni on trial, and is Sal Maroni testifying on someone else's trial? Maybe. Anyway, Sal Maroni's there in court, and then he gets acid and he throws it in Harvey Dent's face.
Oh. Okay, so yeah, kind of the episode ends with Riddler and Solomon going.
Before we get that, is Sal Maroni in the show?
He was, and he got killed in the season 1 finale.
Okay then.
Yeah, which I thought was random as well. That's why they've obviously got the. Hasn't Penguin done it in one of the iterations? Hasn't Penguin done it? Dash like acid or whatever.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure. They say that Jerome, when Jerome comes back, is going to be kind of teamed up with Penguin in some respects. So I mean, he could do his squirty flower at him as another Easter egg.
It could be anyway. It doesn't really need to be Maroni, does it? No one really knows that Maroni is except for that bloke who threw acid in Two-Face's face. So it could be anyone.
Yeah, so the episode ends with Grundy and Riddler going to this underground fight club, and then Riddler's like, oh, I'm his manager, and then they're like, oh, okay, we have to kind of check you out, and then obviously they call for the doctor, and it's Lee Tompkins with a snazzy hairdo. So she's in Gotham, even though she left. She's come back on the DL, I guess she's working there as a doctor. So is she kind of like frisky now, if you know what I mean? Like saucy?
I don't know. I mean, that was kind of what they were setting up. But she might just be like she's a doctor for low-life criminals or people that need help. I mean, that's kind of... It's more like Leslie in the comics where she's just kind of a doctor for vigilantes and whatnot. Maybe that's where they're working their way towards. Maybe this is the way for her to eventually like hook up with Bruce, because they don't have any sort of, from what I can tell anyway, any sort of bond like they do in the comic books. So maybe this is the way for them to meet up. Now Bruce is on the streets. She might just be a doctor he goes to.
Let's talk numbers.
That's the because that's the one thing. They seem to be lacking at the minute. Bruce and Alfred, they have a police contact. I know. Is he a medic like he is in the comic books in this one?
I don't really know.
If I remember right, I mean, they know they've changed Alfred's origin down the years, but I remember at one point he was like a medic in the army or something.
I think it was like in this. I know you see him like doing Bruce's like wounds and stuff like that, like stitching it up. But I think he was like ex-SAS, like
so he would have had basic medical training. Okay, yeah. So then that's the one thing they seem to be they're going to have eventually. Lucius Fox. I don't know what they're doing with him at the minute. They'll work their way towards him being the tech guy like he is in the movies, and they've got Gordon, but they don't have a doctor, so it makes sense that will be Leslie at some point. So, and in terms of the score, I thought this was good. I think I'll give it an 8.5. I think it's the episode, off the top of my head, I probably enjoyed the most out of the show. I thought it was quite fun.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably give it the same. Like, it's got to be high. Yeah. I thought it was pretty decent. That's all I have to say about it.
It's you can have Bruce Wayne stab somebody and I'm not pulling my hair out. I mean, if this was the pits, I probably would have lost my shit. But I can kind of keep it in context, and he'll be. It's just a question of like how long is Race going to be gone? Is it 1 episode? Is it 10? Because he's coming back at some point.
I think it'll be. It's got to be mid-season or something like that, because it's got to be one of them cliffhanger things, like, because you got to figure they're going to take his body somewhere, and it's kind of, if they take him to the police station and kind of have him there, like, they're going to notice if his body vanishes. So, I mean, if they leave it for a while and then on the slide just take the body and, like, everyone's too busy to notice or whatever, or just put him in an unmarked grave and then they come along and dig him up. I mean, whatever, but I think it'll probably serve better to have him disappear now until, like, episode 12 or whenever the mid-season finale is, and have him, like, resurrect as like a final scene, and then he can just kind of either pull strings or pop up for the kind of rest of the season before he goes off to Nanda Parbat, because he knows he's ready now. Because like when Bruce goes to stab him and then he doesn't, it was like, you're still not ready. Now he is ready, so it's just a matter of him taking him to Nanda Parbat to train him, or Bruce making a conscious decision to go to Nanda Parbat to train. So a couple of things have got to happen before that.
Because that could be a way of working out the kinks of why the hell would Bruce Wayne ever join something called the League of Assassins. That that's the way something changed the name, I think, in the movie in Batman Begins. What was it called there? League of
Shadows,
right? And it could be a way of working towards a similar scene to what they do in that movie, where the race or the fake race may try and make Bruce Wayne kill a guy, and he's like, no, I won't do that. They can kind of repeat that now with Bruce thinking he can do it because he's already done it once, but when now there's race there, that's not a step he wants to take, and he'll refuse to do it, and then there you go, he's got the training, but he's never really joined. Problem solved.
Yeah, I think what's got to happen, I think what's more likely to happen, is for Race to, whenever they conclude their business, and be like, look, whenever you need proper training or to continue the path, come to Nanda Parbat, and he'll just shrug it off, and then like a couple of years later something will happen that'll make him realise, like, look, I need like serious training or whatever before I put on the suit. It's like I have to go to like a professional, you know what I mean, and then he'll like go and take him up on the offer.
Possibly. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Something drastic's going to happen to be like, look, this is the only place I can turn. So yeah, I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
Or he could just threaten him again. Be like, look, 5 years you've got, come to Nanda Parbat. If not, you know what you're going to get. We'll see you next time with more Superhero Hub.